Milani, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101, and today it is going to be the start of the holiday season. And the reason I say that is because I am starting to review holiday sets. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of really excited to do this because at the end of the year, every makeup company starts coming out with their holiday sets and their holiday palettes, and I am all about holiday sets and holiday palettes. I feel like around the holidays you can get the best bang for your buck because a lot of times companies are coming out with sets of just tons of stuff and you're saving so much money by purchasing stuff in a set versus individually. You feel me? So today I have the Urban Decay Vice 3 palette. Urban Decay does do a really big eyeshadow palette for every holiday season, and I have been collecting every Urban Decay holiday palette for the past 7 years of collecting makeup. So yeah, I have a lot of these palettes. But this one in particular is really exciting because Urban Decay is known for releasing eyeshadow palettes that have eyeshadows in it that are already available in other Urban Decay palettes or that are available individually. And I don't necessarily like that because when you get to, you know, the 7-year of makeup collecting mark like I have, and you have a lot of Urban Decay palettes, you start finding that lots of palettes have overlapping colors, and then it gives you less of an incentive to purchase a new palette if you know you already own half of the colors in it. This Vice 3 palette has 20 brand new colors that are not available already in the Urban Decay line, which was what gave me the biggest push to purchase it, and I wanted to review it, and I'm a collector, and so yeah, I really didn't need another push, but there it is. So this is what the Vice 3 palette looks like. You can see it comes in kind of like a rectangle packaging with a mirrored front and this really cool, interesting, almost like a interesting slash through it. It's really nice. And then Vice is written in a raised lime green jewel looking thing almost. And then the back of the palette is also mirrored and it's got that kind of lime green color. So I really like the overall packaging and design. I will say one of the things I don't like about this palette as compared to the two previous Vice palettes is that it doesn't feel as sturdy. I don't know if you can hear that. It's kind of squeaky and the plastic on it just doesn't feel as nice, and I don't know why that is. The first Vice palette was kind of rubberized, so I understand why that one didn't have that squeaky quality to it, but the last one was also plastic and it didn't feel as flimsy as this plastic does. So the palette comes in a box like this, just your standard cardboard box. And one thing they upgraded this year is that it actually comes with a little reusable makeup bag, which I love. It is so cute, and it's not like the nicest quality or anything, but I'm kind of a sucker for reusable bags. If you guys have been following my Ipsy videos, which I haven't posted one of those in a while, but if you guys have watched those, you guys know how much I just love reusable makeup bags. This palette does retail for $60, so it is more expensive than the previous Urban Decay Vice palettes, but you know, every year I feel like prices go up in everything. Unlike the previous Vice palettes that had a little button that you push and the palette opens up, which I thought was really cool. I'm really sad they didn't do that this year. This one you just have to open up yourself. It is magnetic, so I guess that's kind of cool. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. It does have a mirror, which I still left the little plastic on just to make it easier for you guys to see stuff. And this one does come with a little double-ended brush on it. This is what the brush looks like. It says UD Vice on it, and one side is kind of a fluffy crease brush and the other side is like a flat shader brush. Not really crazy about either one of these brushes. They're soft because they are synthetic hairs, but the crease brush isn't very dense and the flat shader brush isn't very flat. So there's that. As for the shadows you are getting inside, as I said, you are getting 20 brand new colors inside. I am wearing just this palette on my eyes today. Obviously, I'm not wearing the entire palette, but all of my eyeshadow is from this palette. And just from using it the couple times that I have since I have owned this, I have to say, I'm not over the moon about it, which is kind of unfortunate because normally with Urban Decay palettes, I am very much over the moon because I love Urban Decay's eyeshadows. But this palette just didn't impress me the way previous Urban Decay palettes have. And as I go through each individual color, you may be able to tell in my individual swatches of why that is. But the overall eyeshadow texture, you can absolutely get it to work. Don't get me wrong. But traditionally, Urban Decay eyeshadows have the infamous qualities of them being super, super buttery, creamy, pigmented. Even though it's a powder eyeshadow, they almost come across as a cream. When you swatch them, they feel extremely soft and buttery. And I have to say, these eyeshadows do not live up to what an Urban Decay eyeshadow should be. While the shadows are still pigmented, they do deliver enough color. They aren't creamy. They're kind of powdery and dry, and they just don't blend as flawlessly as Urban Decay eyeshadows have been known to do. As for the color selection you are getting in this palette, I feel like you're getting a lot more neutrals than you were in any of the previous Vice palettes, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, if you guys have enough neutral eyeshadows and you guys are like, wow, I'm so sick of neutral palettes popping up all over the place, this one may not interest you as much, only because when I look at this palette, the only like colors I see are like these four right here. These blues, the green, and this purple. These pinks, you know, can come across more neutrally, and you know, definitely the rest of the palette is neutral. However, with that being said, I do think that the colors they put in this palette work really well together. I think that was a problem with some previous Vice palettes, was that there were a couple shades that almost, they were really unique and really fun and really nice colors, good quality, but they didn't really fit in with the rest of the palette. So it was kind of like you had to pull in additional eyeshadows or a different palette to make that color work. Now I'm just gonna get into an individual swatch and review on each of the 20 colors so you guys can see what they look like swatched on my hand and the descriptions. Okay, so going down the first row of shadows, firstly we have Truth, which is a matte, creamy white color. Then we have Undone, which is a mid-tone peachy matte brown. Then we have Downfall, which is really similar to my skin tone. It is a mid-tone caramel brown, matte finish as well. Then we have DTF, which is a little bit darker than my skin tone. It's kind of like a matte taupey brown. Moving on to the second column in this palette, first off we have Dragon, which is a metallic mid-tone grass green. Then we have Freeze, which is a metallic mid-tone, kind of like a grayish blue type color. Then we have Heroine, which is a dark cobalt blue. This one is a matte finish. And then we have Broke Down, which is a medium coppery brown with a metallic finish. Then for the third column in this palette, firstly we have Vanity, which is a medium dark metallic plummy purple. Then we have Lucky, which I have to say is my favorite one in the entire palette. It is a medium metallic true copper penny color. Then we have Rain, which is a darker metallic chocolatey brown. And then we have Bobby Dazzle, which is a very bright metallic white. And this one has some chunky bits in it. As for the fourth column in this palette, firstly we have Alien, which is a really, really beautiful light pink color, but it's kind of got a gold duochrome to it. Then we have Alchemy, which is a medium hot pink with a metallic finish. Then we have Bondage, which is a deepened blackened plum color with also a metallic-y type finish. And then lastly we have Sonic, which is a true beautiful pinkish cranberry color, also with a metallic finish. And then for the last column in this palette, first off we have Last Sin, which is a metallic light champagne gold color. Then we have Angel, which is a really unique one. This one is a light grayish taupe with a little bit of like a shimmering overlay in it. Then we have Defy, which is a matte mushroom taupey gray. And lastly, we have Revolver, which is the darkest color in the palette. It is a dark charcoal gray with a slight metallic finish. So those are swatches of the entire palette, and you probably could tell in the swatches that some of the shades definitely come across a little bit powdery. You can see they were kind of crumbly, a little chalky looking, and if you guys can just see the actual shadow pans in the palette, you can probably tell a little bit of how crumbly they are, because I did swatch all of these with my finger. They kind of just crumble and flake a little bit, which is weird for Urban Decay. So my overall thoughts on this Urban Decay Vice 3 palette is that I like it, I don't love it. I'm not gonna return it. I definitely can and will make it work, but I do feel like Urban Decay did decrease the quality of their shadows. So that is pretty much all I have to say on this palette. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what you thought of the review in the comments down below, and let me know what other holiday sets you guys want me to review, because I have seen so many new holiday products coming out in Sephora, and I would love to do review videos that you guys want to see. So please let me know which holiday sets you guys are interested in me reviewing in future videos in the comments down below, and I will talk to you guys very, very, very soon in a maybe, perhaps, bonus video coming up on Saturday. I'll see you guys then. Bye. Maybelline just recently released a whole collection of new lipsticks, which they call their, as you can see here, I kind of had a little accident with this eyeshadow right here. I'm actually really, really sad